When was the last time you took a leap of faith, trusting that everything is going to work out? Do you crave growth, or are you merely content with the status quo? If you want more out of your life, out of your career, and out of your relationships, you are in the right place. Take the leap and discover how to create a life by design rather than living it by default. Real success starts with you. Now here's your host, Colleen Biggs.
Hello, and welcome back to another amazing episode of Take the Leap. I am your host, Colleen Biggs. And today we are going to jump in and I'm going to share with you all about a new concept that some of you might not even realize. It's called a 12-week year. So most companies as we know it, and the companies that I've been with have focused on 12 months in a fiscal year. Today, we're going to be focusing everything that we have on a 12-week year. But before we get started, I want to thank our sponsor for today's show, BizBolster Web Solutions. Imagine if you increased visits to your website to have a consistent flow of new business. BizBolster Web Solutions designs websites and set up tools that not only attract new prospects, but also gets started building the know, like, and trust factor for those prospects when they land on your website. Through exceptional websites and targeted SEO, their clients are not only found online, but are also able to convey their area of expertise as well as the what's in it for me to their prospects. Imagine if it was that easy for you to increase sales for your business by driving more traffic to your website. Well, it is. Be sure to visit BizBolster Web Solutions at bizbolster.com to download your free SEO guide and schedule your discovery session today. Thank you so much, Lori Osborne and BizBolster Solutions, for sponsoring today's show. So what really truly differentiates great entrepreneurs and performers from mediocre ones? And I believe it's the ability to effectively execute on what we know. And there are sometimes, I believe there's a gap of success is because of something we don't know. It's a memory I have of going back to the book of The Millionaire Mind, Secret of the Millionaire Mind. And T. Harv Eker explained in there that when he was a young adult, a friend of his dad's came by and said, don't get down on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Sometimes it's a lack of knowledge that causes us to not be successful. But what happens when we have that knowledge? There's a gap, frankly, for most of us between what we know we should do and what we are actually willing to do. This, what we call knowing doing gap, is what keeps most people from accomplishing what they are capable of. Now, as you know, I solely focus on empowering others to reach their peak performance. So with my clients, I consistently work on setting goals. We even do a Monday morning motivation call for every one of my clients, whether you work with me for a half hour a month or if you work with me every single week and are one of my one-on-one private clients. Then you're invited to this Monday morning call. And on this Monday morning motivation call, we do this so that we can talk about our wins that we had for the week before. We can talk about what it is that our goals were for the last week and where we were. So measuring what happened, why we didn't get there, where we are. And then looking at next week, what are our goals? And this is very similar to what the 12-week year sprint is. And I didn't even realize that I was doing it with my clients until I put it all together. And I was like, wait a minute, if we could take this weekly goals that we're looking at, because I focus on monthly goals. So we break down the monthly goals into weeks, and then we look at it per day. And then we come on a phone call every Monday to report our results. What if we were to do this in 12 weeks? So what if we got a group together and we could take back control of our day? What if we could increase our income in this 12 weeks? What if we could balance the priorities in our life? What if we lowered stress? What is the biggest stress? You have this annual goal. You're looking at that annual goal to say, these are all the things I want to accomplish this year. And you have them written down on a whiteboard or your vision board. and it's just stressful. And the first quarter comes in and you look at your month or you look at your quarter and you're below your numbers and where you want to be. And you think that's okay. I still have 3 more quarters to make it up. But then you hit your second quarter and you're below on your numbers or on your sales. And you're like, that's okay. I have the second half of the year to make it up. And what happens is you spend your entire time spinning your reels to make up what you lost in the first quarter, second quarter. And now you're also trying to gain momentum on that in that last half of the year. Well, what if you could accomplish your goals in record time? I think, there's nothing like a deadline to get you motivated, right? We all feel that way when we set a deadline for ourselves. Like Christmas is a great deadline, y'all. So Christmas is coming up. The Christmas deadline is Christmas on the 25th of December. So your deadline is to have all of your gifts, is to have all your presents, is to have everything ready for everyone that you're giving a gift to or that you're serving or doing something for ready by that date. And isn't it a miracle how every year on December 25th, we all seem to get it done because we have a deadline and we work toward that deadline. And then we look at what worked last year, what didn't work last year. And then we change that to accomplish our goals in record time. So deadlines are amazing. And the great thing about having a 12-week year is that the deadline's always near enough that you really never lose sight of it. And it provides a time horizon that is long enough to get things done, yet short enough to create a sense of urgency and a bias for action. You've heard me talk about this before. Action is the key for how you're going to be able to keep increasing your confidence in the success in your business. Absolutely, 1,000%. Action is the number one thing. So what I decided to do this year, starting in January, I believe it's January 16th, we're going to start because, not everyone comes back right after the first of the year. So giving everyone a little time to settle in. What I want to do starting in 2023 this year is do a sprint where you'll not only move through fear, move through all the uncertainties and discomfort. It's going to be uncomfortable. I'm just going to share with you right now. Let's just use a simple goal. To me, this would be a simple goal because I work out, I'm healthy. So a simple goal for me might mean to change my body fat by 4%. It might be to lose 7 pounds. It might be to gain muscle mass, right? So if I have a measuring stick on how I can do that and something that's going to measure that for me, and that's my goal over 12 weeks, then every single day I'm going to have action pieces that I put in place to get me to that point. And so I've got to weigh myself. I've got to know my circumference. I have to know what my BMI is before I start. I have to, know how to be able to measure that throughout. And then what are the action steps I'm taking? So I probably need to kick up my workouts a little more. If I'm increasing my muscle mass, then I probably don't want to do yoga. I probably want to start lifting weights. And so I want to do workouts on lifting weights. So that's just an example of how this goal can be set and how we can look at breaking it down day by day. So we have to move through the discomfort, but you get to do that while you're being supported by other like-minded individuals, because these individuals that are in this group are going to be the individuals that are supporting you. And they're also on this journey in a 12-week period to accomplish their goals. So they're going to be measuring their goals. They're going to be looking at their lead factors, their lag factors. They're going to be looking at everything that they're measuring to see, is this working for me? How many times out there have all of you said you want something and then you set a goal for it and then you never achieved it? Because what are the excuses that we give ourselves? Either it got too hard, and when it got too hard, we decided, oh, this is way too hard. And the easiest thing for me to do is go back to my comfort zone where I was before because that was easy. So I'm going to use losing weight again because that seems to be the common factor for most people, because we all agree that most Americans are overweight, and we all have everything available to us without buying one stitch of equipment to have a healthier lifestyle. The way we eat, we could walk every day, we can run, we can do squats. Like there's so much we could do with our own body weight. In fact, I'll share a story. When I was a personal trainer, I had classes that I would teach in my community. And these classes that I would teach, sometimes I did all body weight. And so when I taught the class, I would just do it based on your body weight, and every exercise we did had zero equipment. And I wanted to show them how easy it was for us to be fit and to have an amazing workout with zero equipment, just your body, which means if you're traveling, if you're in a hotel room, wherever you are, if you're staying at an in-laws house over the holidays, you can work out without having to carry equipment with you or have an excuse that you say, well, I'm not at home. My gym is at home. So while I'm traveling, I can't be working out. And the truth is we can. And so you can do this, but what happens is when it gets uncomfortable, and why are most people overweight, or why do we have this, crazy amount of individuals that have unhealthy levels of cholesterol and, are on high blood pressure medication or diabetes, and the numbers are only getting larger in America. Why is that? And it really has to do with calories in and calories out. It always does. And so it's uncomfortable. It takes a mental preparedness. It takes dedication. And so if you took that goal and broke it down and said that for 12 weeks, I'm going to solely focus on this one goal, and that is I'm going to add it into my day every single day to make sure I work on this goal, it becomes easier to reach that goal. So we're going to start by creating a vision for your 12 weeks, a vision that lowers your stress, balances your priorities in your life, and really gets you to accomplishing those goals in record time. So it starts with a vision. What do you want? What do you really want out of your life? And then how are we going to achieve getting there? So this 12 weeks is going to be like a vision you would have for your year, but let's get active in it in the first 12 weeks. Then we can rinse and repeat after that. So we need to identify next, after we have our vision, what are the top 1 to 3 things that will have the greatest impact for me? So once we identify what the 1 to 3 things are, then we pursue those with gazelle-like intensity. I love Mr. Dave Ramsey. He always said, getting out of debt, you do it with gazelle-like intensity. And that is the one thing I pulled from his program. When I do something or work with my clients and they're really needing to change one thing in their business that's going to move the needle, I say it has to be gazelle-like intensity. Like, everything you're doing is just driving your energy toward that. And that is where your focus is. Because if that's going to create the success in your business, then that's where you need to put 80% of your time, not in all these other areas that don't matter. Gazelle-like intensity for 80% of your time in this one area. Then we're going to measure the results. So we're going to measure them week by week by week. And measuring builds self-esteem and confidence. It also documents progress and achievement. How many of us forget how successful we've been, forget all the progress, all the achievements we've ever had in our life? We have to hang up medals. We have to go, my husband has a box of medals that he hasn't put out for himself. And when I moved into my new office, I created a wall that I look at all day. And on this wall are all of my medals from running. And I was a runner for many years. All of my medals from Taekwondo that I won through competitions. It has all the markers of progression through all of my belts. And I have all of my belts in a case hanging up on the wall, so I can see my progression of all the belts that I was able to move through. I have my first magazine I ever produced as a publisher. I have the first magazine I was ever in that was invited in. I have my personal training certificate and my black belt certificate and my vision board. And I just have the things that remind me of mental toughness, of the things that I've been through, of the progress I've made, of the achievements that I've been able to conquer. this program is going to be designed for a small group. Looking at 10 spots probably is what this will be. And the reason why I want to keep it small is because I want every single woman in this small little 12-week sprint to have the opportunity to have the conversation when we meet for weekly accountability meetings, what we call WHAM meetings. And so they're quick and short and simple. And just like I do with my clients now on Monday morning, and we get in and we get out, and everyone has a chance to talk about what worked, what didn't work. So not only are you going to develop your 12-week plan, like we talked about, then you're going to create a weekly plan of the execution. And then achieving that, is going to be something that you need accountability for. And it was really interesting. I read in a book the other day, and this shocked me because I work with my clients a lot on accountability, and I work, as a personal trainer. Many of my clients came to me because they needed the accountability. But the accountability is very interesting because we have to, as individuals, first commit to say, I want this in my life. I will do this because I'm going to hold myself accountable. And then we can put another person in place for accountability. But accountability will always start with you. It's always going to start with you. You have to make the commitment if you want something to change in your life. So if 2022 isn't ending up exactly where you thought it would, and you started off with this amazing goal for income, if you started off with a goal for $350,000 that year, and in the first quarter you were a little short, and in the second quarter you were short, and then you kind of lost momentum and you ended up at maybe, 225, and you're like, what happened? What happened throughout the year? Going back and looking over 12 months to try and figure out what happened is really tough to do. It's like looking at your finances for an entire year before you take them to your CPA to file your taxes. And you literally are trying to figure out how much money you spent and where the money went and what expense was a business expense, how many miles you drove. It's impossible. It takes you hours and days. And I remember I had done that once in my life and said, never again. Now, as long as I do little things every single day, so when an invoice comes in, I save the receipt and then I upload them every week into QuickBooks. And then every day or once a week, I can go into QuickBooks and match everything so that at the end of the year, there's no matching. And then all I have to do is just print out all of my P&Ls and all of my reports out of QuickBooks when it's tax time, and we're done. There's no sitting and planning. There's no going through it all. We can upload everything within an hour, my husband and I, and we can be done. So, having an execution plan, having a weekly execution score to know how you're doing is totally going to change the game in your business, because now you're measuring. Now based on what you're doing, is it working or is it not working? Are the 5 sales calls that you're having every week changing and moving the needle in your business for you to gain more clients? For if it's not working, then you have to measure these results and make changes along the way within this 12-week period of time. And imagine, again, if you were able to accomplish so much in that 12 weeks and you just rinse and repeat that throughout the year, what a year could look like for you. And of course, you're not going to be on your own on this. We're going to be giving you encouragement, feedback from the group. Everything that you want to accomplish in your life requires an investment and of time. It does. So when you want to improve your results, you must face the fact that your supply of time is completely inelastic and perishable. We all have 24 hours in a day. So how are some individuals like myself, I pride myself on this, able to get so much accomplished in a 24-hour day and others are not? Has everything to do with how you're scheduling your day. It has everything to do with how you're tracking your results. It has everything to do with your execution within the 24 hours that you are given, period. My commitment to you is simple on this. You will accomplish more in 12 weeks of 2023 in this program than you will ever have in any given year, because you'll be focused, you're going to be supported, and you're going to have true clarity of exactly what you are working on to accomplish. It doesn't matter what the goal is, whether you want to lose 10 pounds, whether you want to have a better relationship with your spouse, whether you want to earn more money. This program is designed for you to reach whatever goal you set in 12 weeks, no matter what it is. And I'm super excited about this, that I needed to come on and have an episode with you guys, because I'm giddy excited about all the ladies that I know and I've watched in the LEAP community that have struggled to reach their goals throughout the year. And they've done everything. They've hired every coach. They've done every program. They've done everything that they could do, and they're still not reaching their goals. But imagine if you could take this year of 2023 and condense it down to 12 weeks and say, okay, when I come back from vacation over the holidays, I'm going to hit the ground running. I'm going to do a 12-week year sprint, and I'm going to jump in this 12 weeks, and I'm going to start my year like blazes of glory, and the ball is just going to fly out of the cannon, and I'm going to do so much in 12 weeks. Way different than I've done it in any other year. So I'm excited, and I hope that you guys will be joining us. We definitely are excited for you to be part of the 12-week year sprint. But here's the thing, even if you are deciding to yourself right now that you're not willing to commit, remember we talked about commitment. It all comes down to your commitment. Everything you want to accomplish in your life requires an investment of your time. And if you're not willing to invest in you, and you're not willing to invest in yourself and your business, then don't ever think or assume that anyone else is ever going to be willing to invest in you. Like, why should they pay you money to buy your products when you're not willing to spend money to invest in you and what you need to do, and put the time in to reach your goals? That is the most important thing. We lead by example. We lead by example. So I hope and pray that I will see you in January in this 12-week sprint. All the information is available at ColleenBiggs.net. You can find all the information out there. And I'm super excited. And I know that if you do this for yourself and if you commit, you will be the happiest in whatever goal it is that you're setting for yourself than you've ever been in your life in 2023. So you owe it to yourself. And remember, ladies, you're the only you that's ever been. You're the only you that will ever be. You have to make the decisions. You have to commit to yourself. You have to decide that you're going to be accountable to grow this business, to lose that weight, to have that great relationship with your spouse. Whatever it is that you want to do, is it write a new book? Whatever it is that you want to do in 2023, you have to decide and make your decision. And when you make your decision and you apply yourself, then the results will follow. And by the way, so does the money. Well, thank you all for joining me today on Take the Leap. I am so excited for the holidays and for the end of 2022 and what 2023 will bring for all of us in the Leap community and for all of my clients and for all of you that will be joining me in the 12-week sprint in 2023. I'll see you then. Until then, bye-bye for now.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of self-discovery, where you learned the tools to create a life by design. Remember, you are the only you there is, and you are the only you that will ever be. Be you and be strong, because you are brilliant, and the world needs you at your best. We cannot wait for you to join us again next time.